We're live, Gerry. I do need to stop the stream over here on the other because I can't get to the poll unless I go to this section. So here it goes. Let me pause this. It's okay. All right. Welcome everybody. I can't get to the poll unless I go to this section. All right, there we go. Let's see how many votes we got. We got 14 votes. We'll let the votes come in before we comment because last time we had like 50, 60 votes or something like that. So I don't want to, talk about it yet. You know what I mean? Well, it is Sunday, December 12th, 7 o'clock. And, it's not even winter yet. It's been a weird winter, too. It's not even winter yet. It's been a weird December so far. We actually had snow the other day. It was just a dusting, though. We were in this like 65, 70, almost 70 degrees today, though, so crazy. I know that parts of the country got ravished by a freaking tornado or tornadoes. Absolutely insane. And I saw the news before, like saying this is a potential issue, could happen, right? Because unseasonably hot weather in those areas, and we have hot weather here too, and I know other parts of the country the same thing, but man, that devastation down there, I don't think I've ever seen a tornado damage like that before.
No, to see the before and after pictures is pretty wild.
I think we're like one of the number one places in the country. Weld County is a good example where it's north up towards like Greeley. We had the Windsor tornado up there, which was a huge mile-wide tornado. But here in Denver, we get very small ones occasionally because we're at the start of Tornado Alley. But when I looked at the damage of this tornado, it ripped beams out of the concrete. Like, foot-long freaking, I don't know for what they call them, but they're set in concrete. And it ripped these things out of the concrete. It's like, I've never seen any devastation like that done from a tornado ever. You know what I mean? Like I can.
Yeah, weather. Yeah, forget it. You're at its mercy.
You are, and I'm thinking about moving to Eastern Tennessee, and they do get tornadoes in the Eastern Tennessee, but it's very rare, and they're not probably that big. Like I'm talking about way up in the hill.
What was fun? What was not funny, but what was interesting is like a day or two before those tornado hits, I was searching on Zillow for houses out in Kentucky.
Well,
like, man, it's affordable out there. It's really affordable.
Well, not all of Kentucky. It's like literally, I could say the same thing about Tennessee because there's parts of Tennessee I wouldn't want to live. Like Memphis is a good example. There's a lot of crime there, and I mean that's like right in Tornado Alley. I don't want to live there, but Eastern Tennessee, up near the North Carolina border, I think you're pretty good there. And there's parts of Kentucky that are great too. You just got to stay away from the sinkholes,
The Louisvilles.
Yeah, the Corvette sinkholes. So, I mean, prayers don't go out because I'm not really a religious person, but my heart goes out to those people. Lots of people, died during this freaking thing. And if you're not underground in a bunker, people died in an Amazon warehouse in Illinois. I'm thinking people probably thought, it's a concrete, exterior wall. Everything's fine. We're fine in here. Nowhere's safe unless you're under freaking ground.
No, living out there, you definitely need a bunker. That's like not even an option.
Yeah, we got basements here, and even then, I mean, you got a house above you. You know what I mean? So, so let me talk about my week. I had a pretty good week. It is what it is. The market did recover quite a bit. That helped as well. Gerry's got he's got some exciting news and about his week and stuff. So let's see here. Where's my we'll get to the comments here in a moment. So my week, let's see. What did I do this week? Where am I going? I'm going over here. That's where I'm going. So I took $672 off last week in profits. Qs, $210 in the Qs. Tesla, $138, which was honestly like, I think it was a day trade actually. Now, it wasn't meant to be a day trade in Tesla. Let me pop that one up as a matter of fact. me see. I got into Tesla on the 10th. Well, that was a Friday, right? And I took it off on the 10th for $138. And I was, it was a 42% increase. It wasn't meant to be that. It was meant to be a 40-day hold and get, I think it was $323 in premium I got for it. And I collected 42% of that day. How could I not take that off, right? Let's see, what else did I do? I took off an IWM $130 SPY, $120 in a Bank of America, not Bank of America, I always call it Bank of America, a Boeing call, which is part of a strangle I took off for $72. $172 total. It puts me at $733 for the month so far, and roughly about $48,000 for the year. I'm sitting at about $35,000 maintenance margin. Buying power usage roughly about 11.8%. Premium cooking, $2,200. And I'm still down $6,800, mostly in all Baba, which I'm still waiting out. I'm really debating selling some at the money calls about 40 days out, where I can actually collect that about $7,000. I'm down $6,500 at this moment. I'm just waiting for it to have a big update, like a 20% update. And 13 positions on, and 29 contracts total, 409,000 notational value. I did put on a or I guess it's cash secured put in the Schwab account. I can't remember what strike I went with. It was roughly like a 365 or something like that, 8% down or something. So that's been my week. This week we'll see how it goes. I don't know. I don't have anything expiring this week. I don't have anything expiring until next week. So, and I think next week things expire the 23rd, which is kind of odd because you think it expire the 24th, even though that is a short day, as Jerry and I were just talking about. But the 23rd, Jerry. So that was my week. Looks like the futures they're up, a third of a percent or something like that. So, and the RET's up more, so Jerry's probably happy. So, Jerry, give us a rundown of your week, huh?
The week was pretty good. I closed out a bunch of positions. Actually, 21 positions I closed out, and it was a lot of nickel and diamond stuff. Just because I'm trying to. I got a lot of stuff in the next 3 expirations that are in the money, like a lot. So there's going to be some rolls. There's going to be some taking of stock. There might be some just straight up losses in the next few weeks, but that's fine. I know it's coming. They're all sitting like right around support levels, most of them. That's why I sell them that way, just so that they're, right there. So what did I do? I took off 21 positions for a total net profit of $537.19. It would have been more, but I did get scared out of a strangle in ARC-G, the call side, because we had a couple of strong days up. It got in the money, and the emotions took over, and I was debating, buy the shares to cover, or just take the loss, or roll it up. Because if
What
the
strike was that, Jerry?
it was a 65 strike on ARC-G.
Oh, shit.
It was right there, and
Yeah.
but of course, hindsight's 2020. You gotta, looking back, right? You had a couple of strong days up. You had a few strong days up last week, and you really got to think that there's going to be a cooling off period, right? And that's exactly what happened. So the very next day, it freaking dropped like $5, and I would have been fine. But that's neither here nor there. You do what you think is right at the time. So there was a little bit of loss there, but still net profit for the week, $537.19. I did open 11 other positions for $934.12 of new premium. So currently I got on $4,412 of premium.
Holy cow, Gerry.
Yeah, it might get even more than that as we roll some of this stuff. 27,000 in maintenance margin, 22.5% buying power used. And I don't think I did anything special. After hours, I sold after hours on Friday, I sold a IWM put at 190 strike. That's nice. So for those that, you can trade some options after hours, especially on indexes. But other than that, nothing real special. Yeah, I'll just wait and just bear with me. You'll see a lot of activity in the next 3 weeks with all my stuff that's in the money. So that's
When
it.
did you put that ARC G on? Just curious.
It was only like a 2-day hold.
So,
On $175 in 2 days.
because it looks like, let me see, was that Monday? Monday had the reversal,
Yeah, I think that's right when I put it on too.
and it had a gap up on Tuesday. Wednesday is the day that peaked above 65 and
That's when I sold out. Yep.
poked its head out, probably freaked you out, and then now it looks like it's going back down to close the gap.
Exactly. But
I mean, 65. I mean, come on, you're flying close to the sun, man.
That was, but if you looked at it before that, it looked like it was going to the in the 50s, where it's going to now.
Zero. Depends, because that Monday candle would have been your telling sign right there. To say, well, looks like it's going to reverse and go the other way. I should wait, but I mean, it is what it is. You already made the play, but just looking at a chart, it's easy to quarterback a chart after left of the screen anyway.
I got a 65 put on too, so.
Oh, okay. Oh, you went inverted?
So I'm going to probably have to sell the call anyway.
Yeah, all right. So I didn't put a lot on last week. I started building out a couple positions for January 28th. So I put a 180 put on IWM out there, and I put a 340 put out there under the Qs. And looking at my spreadsheet here, one was 11% probability in the money, and the other one's about a 9% probability in the money. So I honestly looked about putting 2 on, and then instead of putting 2 on, I just went a little bit more aggressive on it, but not to like a 10 delta or something like that. So just a little bit more aggressive to get more premium out of it instead of putting 2 on of each. So, yeah, I don't know. That's always the game we're playing, Gerry. Less contracts, and higher delta or a lower delta with more contracts.
Yeah, that's always, I'm running into that now because it's like I like to stay small, but if you need to make money, right, you kind of have to put on a whole bunch of freaking positions.
I don't know how to answer that one. I think on my Schwab account, I'm just going I'm trying to put it to, I'm starting at 0.2 delta, 0.20 delta, and I work myself down from there just a little bit, kind of just weigh things, look at a chart. And because I don't really care about getting assigned in that account, matter of fact, it's kind of preferable to get assigned if I can get the Qs or IWM down 10 to 15%, somewhere around there. Then by all means, I dare your market go down there, right? All right, let's see here. Who do we got in here today, Gerry? Let's take a look here. We got Michael Kruger.
Freddie.
Let's do this one. How about that one? Let's see here. We got All Good. We talked to All Good last night. We had a good old, reunion. So she hung out till like what, almost 2 a.m. or something, wasn't it? Was it 1 o'clock or 2 a.m.?
It was, well, for you guys, yeah, that was almost 2 a.m.
Yeah. Evening, All Good. What do you guys think of the Fed meeting this week? So it's probably Wednesday. It's probably at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's what I think of it. No. They're probably not going to make any decisions. They're not going to make any interest rate changes. I just don't think so. they're already talked about tapering, and they're already started tapering. So whether or not they're going to taper more, I don't know. I don't know what else they're going to talk about. Interest rates aren't going to probably ain't even going to really happen until late next year, in my opinion, if they even do anything next year at all. Gerry, you got any comment there?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do anything. I just think they're going to twiddle their thumbs and hopefully it cools off. But I don't see anything cooling off.
No. Will there be a show on December 26th? I don't see why not. The market's open on the 27th. I don't see why we wouldn't do a show on the 26th. It is not. It's a Sunday, and it's after Santa Claus Day and all that, and there's markets open the 27th. Why wouldn't we do a show? Fair enough. Gerry said he's free. I don't know if he really is or not, but
I'm always free.
he'll have a new ring light too. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's under the tree.
Yeah. What's going on, Gerry? Good evening. Evening to you, Gerry. Trusty old Gerry here. We got CMF and W over here, Gerry. Hello, I will try not to burp tonight. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Pretty funny. Holy cow. Gerry's like, I don't know what the heck that was. Pumpkin Man. Good evening. What's going on, Pumpkin Man? Yeah, pumpkins are done with. Hey, you know what? Pumpkins still. Do they go all the way to Christmas, Gerry?
They got to do pumpkin seeds, right?
Well, I mean, Thanksgiving's really kind of the last time you have pumpkin, really. I mean, you still have pumpkin pies, I think, during Christmas too, don't you?
Yeah, you still do, but that's what I was just going to ask them was like, what's next? What do you do?
What's next? Well,
for a pumpkin man.
Oh, Pumpkin Man. Oh, it's nothing and all the way until nothing all the way until freaking October. Unless, you give pumpkins out for, Valentine's Day or something.
Don't you got to like prepare the soil and replant and I don't know. How does that work? How like what is the turn of a pumpkin?
You just let them rot in the field, and then you cultivate it and pee in there and stuff to get the ammonia up, and I don't know what else you do. Pumpkin Man can learn us on that on Thursday nights. Dividend Drip, what's going on, Dividend Drip? Where you at, buddy? You in the States yet or what? Proper 19. What's going on, Proper 19? Just on time. Evening. Chucky Chill. Gerry. Chuck Chill. I always say Chuck E. Cheese for some reason, but John Arnold, what's going on? John Arnold. I'm here for 2 hours. 2 hours is fine. Then you're what? You're gonna go fishing? Well, he might not be in Dagnag, Gerry. He might be in the States. I don't know where he's at. Thoughts go out to the tornado victims. Absolutely. Like I said, I mean, I've seen a lot of tornado damage, from various times and stuff, but I don't think I've ever seen damage like that from a tornado ever. And it wasn't even that big of a tornado. It was like a middle-sized one, I think it was an EF3, if I'm not mistaken. See here. Needed a little rally this week on Palantir. Got a 20 put expired Friday. Otherwise, been doing well with selling premium. Yeah, Palantir could go to zero. Let's take a look at Palantir. No, I was talking to Matt about it. It's not going to go to zero, but it's still overvalued, hunk of shit in my opinion. But 18 is probably a good price down there if you got to put down there or something.
Even I got a 20 as well, so I'll probably be taking
the money.
Yeah, I'll probably be taking it.
It's probably not a bad bet right around that $17, $18 area. But it's still like it's an overvalued behemoth at this point. It's not a behemoth really, but let's take a look at Wish because that could go to zero.
Oh, that one's really going to zero.
Yeah, it's going to zero.
If anything's going to zero, it's going to be Wish.
What else is going to zero, Gerry? What's another Matt stock that's going to zero? Let's take a look at Baba. I'm still getting my ass handed to me in Baba. I honestly think that this is the bottom for Baba. It's prime. It is prime to make a 15 to 20% move up in a day, I think. It's just going to blow through that 140 and up to the 160 area, in my opinion. Even though there's a couple moving averages before that, I just think it's and close that gap. There's a gap right at that 161, 162 area, and it's so much pent up demand. I don't know if it's demand. The shorts are going to get their ass handed to them. It's just a matter of time. And I'm probably going to sell some. I'm probably going to sell some covered calls against my leap, Gerry. I'm just waiting to have a one big up day where I can just boom lock in a pretty good gain. And if it goes down, I'm still up, $7,000 or something.
Don't you have multiple leap?
I got multiple leap, Gerry. I got 7 of them.
Jeez. I was like,
I'm half of a cloud ninja, Gerry.
Yeah, that 75-80 put. I've just been looking at it every day. Like, do I put one of these on? I
got a 90 on, and that was freaking me out. Because you just didn't know, man. That thing was tanking like a some biatch, like a sieve, leaking like a sieve. It's a really good company, and holy cow, this thing is like so freaking cheap. Palantir is like 40 times more valuable than freaking Baba is at this point, as far as like a 4P perspective. All right, let's see here. What's going on, Shabir? Good evening, MDB. Good evening, boys and girls. Can we say that anymore, Gerry?
I don't think so.
No,
I get canceled.
Yeah,
I get canceled.
I just there's a lot of crap going on TV. Any exciting politic news you want to bring up?
How about poll ratings? Like
poll ratings
plummeting.
Yeah, I don't know. Who on Camel Toe or who?
Yes, on both.
On everybody.
Like holy cow!
Let's see here. So they did move the goalposts on what's called fully vaccinated. Fully vaccinated now literally includes being boosterized. And the thing is with the boosters, there is no 1 booster, 2 boosters, 3. They just say booster, So, as these more, what do you call them, variations or whatever come out, and they run out of alphabet soup to name them and all that stuff. It's going to be you're going to need 10 boosters, right? I mean, there's no end in sight right now.
Yeah, they're talking about what 6 now, right? I think it's 6.
There's just no end in sight when the boosters and what's going to be considered to be fully vaccinated and all that stuff.
There's people getting rich.
Somebody's getting rich. Pelosi. Cheers, Dave and Gerry. David Hipson. What's going on, David?
David.
Grinding retire. What's up, all? We're pretty much, let's see here. Giving these dudes a thumbs up. All right, thanks a lot for that, DD. Double D's. GGG Investor. Happy holidays. Going on, GG Investor. GGG Investor. Triple G.
That's Graco, I think. What is
Graco?
GGG? Graco pumps.
Oh yeah, great. You mean the airless sprayers?
Yeah, GGG. That's the ticker symbol.
I didn't know that. They make some darn good pumps. That's for darn sure.
Absolutely.
You wanna, I don't know, put some primer on your walls or something, and you got a big house you got to do or whatever, and you got to, Graco all the way for sure.
That's not all they do, but they're all.
That's all I know them for, though.
Yeah, but they're in huge manufacturing facilities, pump wise.
What do they do besides, spray guns then?
Fluid management, any kind of fluid management that you need.
Oh wow! You mean like Astroglide?
Yeah, absolutely.
That came out of nowhere. What's going on, Richard Thorne?
Richard.
Richard. Former President Raymond Huffman, Gerry. Good evening, former president.
That's freaking awesome.
Bob Dole, we got laid to rest, and see you, Bob Dole. Lived a good life. He was pretty darn old. Got to give him that. After dealing with was it World War II? He got banged up and shot, or whatever the heck it was, in the hospital for 3 months or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Z Shark. Good evening, D and G. D and G. Wow, I almost said D and D. D and G. Question. I keep hearing that there's a lot of money on the sidelines waiting to go in the market, but with levels at all-time highs, how do we know this assumption is true? That's because I said it on my video on Saturday. And I've been saying it for quite a while. There's a lot of money on the sidelines right now. That's pretty much all I can say. Whether they put it to work or not, I don't know. If you had, a couple $100,000 on the sidelines and the market drops 15%, wouldn't you put some of that money to work? Would you put it all to work? Would you put some of it to work? When would you put it all to work is my question, right? The problem is a lot of people in February, March of 2020, they're like, I'm going to wait for 50% down. And guess what? They never invested. They didn't put shit in it. It came all the way back up.
I think what he might be asking though is where do you find this information that there is money on the sidelines?
That's a good question. I don't know how to find the answer. I'll have to figure out how to find the true answer to that. Just do some Google searches on it and then kind of draw your own conclusion on it.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's a lot of money that poured into. There's records of everything, right? How much money is in regular savings accounts in cash?
Yeah.
How much
money? A lot of
this
stuff honestly comes from like.
How much money poured into like bond funds and things like that. So that's where that comes from, I believe.
And then you got Fidelity that releases information too and stuff because they got access to everybody's information, Vanguard. So that's a good question, Z Shark. Maybe I'll do some research on it. Gerry, your Xmas tree is not lit up.
Got it. It wasn't. I thought I plugged it in. I plugged in the lamp instead.
He's a Scrooge. I had to get him to plug it in last night too. Yeah. Actually, Kerry might have plugged it in. He's like, I wouldn't plug it in. I don't give a rat's ass. I'm a bah humbug. Matthew H. put on a bunch of AMD puts last week with the pullback, hoping to buy them back this week at 7% profit, already in mid-30s. Let's take a look at AMC or AMD. Was it AMD?
AMD.
Oh, shit. I was about to say, what are you doing? AMD.
Ooh, that sucker.
What strike do you got, Matthew? I don't want to be down at the 100.
Yeah, I was going to say the 100 too. 120 is probably another one of the other stopping points, but that's kind of weak.
Yeah, well, you got a 50-period average sitting about the 131 area. 130, 131-ish, 130, 131. Got a trend line kind of where Gerry's talking about the 120. But, there's probably pretty good support at the 100. I just don't know what the money is down there. You got the 200 down there, and you got like a previous kind of, support there at the 100 as well. I don't know what the premium is like down at the 100, though,
It's probably not bad.
Of course, if you put a bunch of them on, you can make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
It's only 20 cents, but if you 200 of them on, then you make good money. So, what strike you got, Matthew? No, sent you a pic on Discord. Really? You didn't at me. Let's take a look. Would you do it in general or something?
Well, you probably put it on in his channel.
I don't see any unless he did it in the Thursday night chat or something like that.
That's probably where it's at.
Probably in, yeah, let's see. Oh, yeah, he's got some, see. Charlie don't fucking surf. Um, Came down off trail of clouds, empty beach, Dave. That is biatchin', Gerry. That's my type of beach right there. You wanna lay out freaking buck ass? Is it buck or butt naked, Gerry? 'Cause I've heard it both ways.
I've heard it both ways. I don't know what's proper,
What do you use, buck or butt?
but yeah.
It just cracks me up because it's one of those things you just don't know, like what people say, and because I've heard buck or butt, it's like what the hell.
I've
Anyways, yeah, you
heard it
can lay
both
out here
ways.
butt
Yeah.
ass naked. Of course, you might get who knows. I mean, they might not take lightly to somebody doing that in that country, but so yeah, is that so that was yesterday. You still in Vietnam, DD? Thoughts on Melly, the Amazon of Latin America? Let me see. Is that the one that Stock Ninja talked about one time?
I don't know, but I've looked at doing spreads on those every once in a while, and it's
Oh,
just
cow.
freaking expensive. But
Overvalued. Like, just holy cow. Like, why would you get into that when you get into Baba? Now, granted, I mean, it's still a Chinese company, but I mean, this thing is like a way, 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 way overvalued. I didn't say way enough. But at the same time, target price is 2,000. The Ford P is misleading then. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole, but that's just me. Yeah, this is the one that now that I think about it, this is the one that Stock Ninja talked about one time.
I do spreads on it if I can get safe enough.
I'd have to look at it. Like what could I? Let me see. Look at it like a monthly or a weekly. If I can get down to like the 800 and below, or maybe the 600, if I can
Yeah,
make money down to 600 on it, I would put one on down there.
yeah, that 600 is probably where to be.
Let me see. I'll look at a options chain on that for Gerry and I here. Let's see, Melly. Let's see. Let's go out. Let's go out to January 28th.
Oh, it doesn't even go down that low on my.
Not on the well, it goes to 850. Let's go out to a regular expiry then.
The 21st,
January
it goes down.
21st. Yeah. So the 600 is
Oh, there's this big spread.
it's a big spread, but you might be able to get
Might be able to
150,
get.
200 bucks out of it
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
It's a big spread. Like you probably like we're talking about 100 to 450 ish.
Yeah,
And
so
you're probably at the best you're probably gonna is get 200 bucks out of it maybe. That's probably not a bad bet. I just don't know anything about the company. Let's go to a monthly here. So 600. I'd say the 600 is pretty safe, but I just don't know anything about the company at all. So it looked like they definitely took advantage of the pandemic, though. That's good. So they're in Argentina. Yeah, they took advantage of the pandemic and just shot up like crazy. So that's my thoughts. Yeah, I probably wouldn't touch it, but if I was going to touch it, I would be at the 600, and I don't know anything about the company, and that's just got shot in the dark. Gerry, would you play 600 as a naked, or you do a spread down there?
I'd probably still do a spread down there. You just don't know with foreign countries. Argentina's economy isn't all that great.
You can live down there for cheap, though. Let's do a
Exactly.
600. It's showing 4,400 in maintenance margin being used. For 200 bucks is what my guess is you'll probably get for it. I don't think you're going to get anywhere near that 450, 470. And I don't think that's worth it. $200 for 4,500 bucks. I don't know. That's a 40-day. Let's just say it is 200 bucks. 200 bucks divided by 4,500. Let's see here. Divided by 40 times 30. 3% return and 30 in a month. That's very low for Gerry. Gerry's getting like 6-8%, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's pretty low. I
Anyways,
wouldn't
that's
do
my
that.
thoughts, Steven. Any particular oil stock you would invest in? Yeah, I'm invested in both CVX and XOM. So are you talking about options wise? Or are you talking about like as a dividend play, or just as an equity play? I don't really play any of those individual stocks for options. We play what XOP and what's another one, Gerry? XLE.
XLE. I've done a few individuals on like BP, Oxy. Got one. I closed last week. I got some good premium on EOG, but it's just hit and miss on the oil side. It just really depends on what's happening.
Wells had a nice run up. Let me look at XOM because it's had a nice run up. I think it still can go higher. I think that ExxonMobil can get back to the $80 range, somewhere around there is what my guess is. But not everything's back yet. Like all the transports, everything's not back yet. International flights still. I mean, I haven't taken a flight in almost. Let me see. I haven't taken a flight since late 2019. And I don't plan on taking a flight until late 2022. If I take a flight, I might actually drive down to Mexico and through Mexico and South America, take a boat or take a bus, take a boat. I don't know. Take a train, walk. I don't know. Take a siesta and just hang out down there and all the way through the middle of 2022 or 2023 or something before I fly out of there to Asia or something. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just trying to push it off as flying as long as I can. I don't want to fly with a mask for 15 hours.
Yeah, option wise, XOM. I mean, I think it's a good value, but option wise, there's just not premium down there where I need to be because at the minimum, I want to be at the 55, and there's literally like what 40 cents for that. So.
I'd play it through it. If I was going to play options, I'd play it through an ETF. But last time I played XOP, it was a hunk of shit, so I got rid of it. I just bought more XOM. Yeah, I'm not dripping any more. I'm not dripping any individual stocks. All those are turned off. And then I'm just, matter of fact, QYLD and XYLD is turned off too. The only thing that's turned on is JEPI, NUSI, and Devo. And then all the other dividends that come in, they get reinvested into those three for now. Let's see here, which kind of sucks in a way because of the way Schwab does it. Like it would be nice if it worked like how TD Ameritrade worked, where it just goes into like a kitty bucket and then you can just tell it very similar to M1 in a way where it just reinvests every dividend that comes in. You can force it to one stock if you wanted to, and you can't do that with Schwab. And I hold a shit ton of COP. Is that conical visit?
That sucker got a run up, man. You're not selling out for a profit.
Yeah. That's a good question. Why is XOM not recover like that?
Exactly.
What's Royal Dutch Shell? Is it B or is it A?
Either.
Let's look at the A. Yeah, that's lagging too, just like freaking. Let's take a look at BP.
They cut their dividend.
Yeah, they're all lagging except for Conical. I don't know why Conical is. Why is that one recovering and all the rest aren't?
EOG had a run up too, but they're all. It's weird. I don't know why they're not giving XOM love.
I don't know.
What about Chevron? Chevron had a run up too.
CVX. CVX. Yeah, you're right. We really need Matt Money to comment on that probably. Hey guys, Hidden Freedom, are you against using the wheel? I know in your positions you don't want to own anything outside of index ETFs. If you weren't firing next year, would you still be against it? I don't know. That's hard to answer because I'm against it in my options account, but I'm not really against it in my retirement accounts. You know, um, I don't. I'm not against it. I just it depends on the strategy and like what I'm doing with the account. I guess is the better way. Um, I was almost going to sit here and say I don't really want to own stock in my 401k, but that's not true because if I'm not owning stock in there, I'm actually kind of probably even losing money then, right? Because that means that the stock is going up. Yeah, I'm making money with the puts, but probably not as much money as I'd be making if I was actually in the stock. So I think wheeling in those accounts is more justifiable for me. If anything, be more aggressive on the puts and just dare the market to come down and then turn around and wheel it. So I'm not against it. It's just depends on what I'm doing and what account. Maybe Jerry's got some insight here too.
Yeah, I'm not against wheeling. I'm going to be wheeling a bunch of stuff here in the next few weeks, but it's not my intent to wheel. See, that's the thing.
True.
That's the difference. There's no intention to wheel. The intention is to just make profit off of cash secured puts, wheel if necessary. So is as a strategy, I don't think wheeling is in our wheelhouse, if that makes any sense.
Pun intended.
Unintended. But I mean, because there's some people that I see that wheel stocks that, I mean, that's just with anything, right? You wheel some just crazy ass company.
That's the problem with the wheel strategy is people they do buy rights and they're way too aggressive and they do it on crappy stocks, the Neos of the world and stuff. If I was going to do a wheel like a buy right, I'd be in the Apples and the Microsofts. You know what I mean? That's what I'd be buy writing on. I wouldn't be doing it on a Neo because guess what? It tanked and there's a lot of people stuck. They're down, what do you do a buy right on freaking Hyliion, Jerry? You're down 70%. What are you going to do now?
Yeah,
Take a
you're in
loss.
that. You look at, like Robinhood. There was a lot of people in Robinhood. That sucker's, is that under $20 now? I mean, it's just, there's a lot of that kind of thing, and you can get yourself into a ton of trouble. Robinhood, it's in the hood. It's literally in the hood.
You got to close the hood on that.
So yeah, I agree. If you're gonna wheel and actually buy something to wheel, it's gotta be a high quality stock, or an ETF, an index ETF.
Yeah, I completely, wholeheartedly agree with those sentiments as well. Not against it. It just depends. In my options account, where I'm actually doing options quite frequently in there, not the 401k and all those other accounts and retirement accounts, where I don't really give a rat's ass what happens in those because I can churn them and whatever. No taxes until I withdraw, whatever. But I have no intentions of actually, I don't really want to take stock in my options account. I'm not really, I will take stock, but I don't really want to, right? That's my last resort. Well, one of the very last resorts. So I hope that answered the questions, Gage. Mark Sweetster. Sweetster. Do you guys use contingent conditional trading on Fidelity? I don't use Fidelity. Jerry, you do. You possibly do.
I do a little bit of trading on Fidelity, but no, unless a limit order is conditional.
I honestly haven't even been using limit orders on my Schwab account and the retirement account. I just been doing markets, and because Schwab will try to get me a better price, and they usually do. But because the interface is such a hunk of shit, and I'm using the phone app, by the way, because the web is no better. The phone app is really just a hunk of shit. It's very laggy, slow, clicky, clunky, whatever. And by the time it updates, it's already outdated anyway because it just takes that long. So I just do a market order. I don't want to wait. But my, IB, I mean, you can play around with that all the time. Move shit around. Have you played around with the IB app? It's been a long time since. A matter of fact, I'm going to take a look at it next week when I'm off and start getting more familiar with it. It's been a long time since I've traded an option from the IB app.
I think I've only done it once. it just, I don't like the app. A lot of people say it's a great app, but I'm like, I open it up and I'm like, ugh.
It's probably not the app. It's just the
It's me.
phone, just using a phone in general, right?
It's me for sure. I'm
Well,
sure,
I can say this. Their app on the phone is way better than Schwab's app. Because I've looked at it, you know what I mean? There's no deltas even on the Schwab app. So you got to go somewhere else. You know, you got to pop up TOS or something on there. Wait, is it? Yeah, Think or Swim. Okay, so yeah, I can't wait for freaking Schwab to suck in, you know, Think or Swim, so I can start using it for my Schwab accounts. I bought Tesla stock this past week for the long term after selling 3 stock. Let's see here. It did have a bad down day one of these days.
yeah, and then it popped back up.
Yeah, it popped up that same day, but then the next day it popped back down. Because it popped down that next day, that's the day that I got into a put on it. And what strike did I do? Let's see here. I did a 600 strike on it, Gerry.
600, okay.
Yeah, 600 strike on it for $320 or something like that. And it came up as a 40% on it the same day. You know, I pulled a thumper. Thumper.
I heard rumors that Tesla was going to do another split.
Is it rumors or just people wanting it to do it?
I don't know. I'd like to know, but that's crazy because it wasn't that long ago they just split, right?
No, they're trying to wish it into room. They're trying to rumor it into existence or something. I don't know, but you know, like a 10-1 or something. And the stupid thing is if it did a 10-1 or if it did a split, just a split, even if it was a 2-1, I would probably buy some because guess what? There's idiots out there that actually think it's cheap. You know, there's idiots after the split that think it's cheap.
If they did a 10-1, I'd probably buy 100 shares.
I might back up the truck.
Oh, that's backing up the truck for me.
How many idiots are out there? Where there's never a shortage of idiots. You know, they're all out there in Tanzania. They're all out there in Kansas. I don't know where they're all stored at, but there's a lot of idiots out there that will say, "Oh my God, Tesla! Look how cheap it is." You know, and Tesla's $1,000 stock, so it'd be $100. Well, it was 10-1. Yeah, $100 stock. Oh man, this thing's super cheap, Gerry. Well, I hope it works out for you, Michael. I know that I watched Thumper's video. He made like $5,000 in BABA, Gerry. He basically got into the call leaps that I probably would have got onto if I wasn't already in them. Good move. Made $5,000 in a couple of days or something. I don't know how long it was, but
yeah, it was a few.
I thought booster. Let's see here. I thought booster were thing you put in a rock. Yeah, that's true. It is. It's also a thing that Gerry needs to sit on so he can see out the window.
What, a phone book?
No, they don't. There's no phone books anymore. Pacific Bell phone book?
Mm-hmm.
That's like Christmas getting those things. That and the Sears catalog. Lingerie section. Closed 2 options this week for $300 gain. Started adding my January puts. All right, congratulations, former President Raymond Huffman. What did you open up? What did you start building out? You start building out January 23rd or 21st, or are you starting out the 28th? I had to wait till Friday, Gerry, because a lot of the expires weren't. The strikes weren't there yet. If you got a $1 million inheritance in cash, would you buy SPY puts to dollar cost average into SPY while collecting some premium for 100 shares at a time, or just YOLO buy? Depends. How old are you when you got the $100 million? When you got the inheritance? Did you already have money? Do you have no money? So I don't know how many contracts you could get. So what, about $40,000 they are worth? 460 is that what
460? Yeah, 460, 470, somewhere in there.
Let's take a look there. $1 million divided by 46,000. So 21 contracts. You ladder them down. Why not? It just depends. You need the money, or you broke, or you already have money, and this is just, because honestly, when people die, you're normally pretty old. Not like they die when you're 20.
Yeah,
So
you can sell 20 contracts from say 420 all the way down to 400.
yeah, but you can do more contracts then because it's even cheaper. So
Yeah, that's true.
25, 30 contracts by then. You can make a pretty penny. That's probably what I would do. Trying to think of how much money that bring in. That's got to be bringing in a couple easily, like $3, $4, $5,000.
Oh, easy.
Yeah. And guess what? It's all cash covered. You throw it in a you throw it in a 6-to-1, Gerry. Portfolio margin account. Oh man. I think the answer to the question is really tough because we don't know how old you are. Not you, Mark, specifically, but how old somebody would be when they need it. Do they need the money? Do they need the income? Do they already have money? They have a job, So if I had a job and I received $1 million, depending on how old I was, I'd be all right. See, I put my 0-day notice in later. AMD puts were 12, 17, 132. Okay. I think we asked you that question, but now I already forgot what the question was. See, 12, 13, 132. Let's take a look at AMD.
Whew.
You playing next to the sun? You flying next to the sun there, Matthew?
That's sunbathing right there.
Jeez, that's getting cancer. What are you talking about? Yeah, I'm off on Pluto most of the time. Gerry's, he's on Mercury. So if not, he's in a satellite right next to the sun. 12, 30, 23, so 130. Yeah, it's just way more aggressive than I would normally ever want to be. Of course, he could have put him on back when it was 160.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me see. Matthew H. Let's see here. I put him on last week. Put him on last week, Gerry. So yeah, at least it's a solid company. I'll give him that. It's just not my cup of tea, and just because it's not my cup of tea doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing it if you want to do it, like
that could be an example of a wheel right there.
It could be. It's a good, it's not a Neo. So you get Dave's approval on it at least. It's just not what I would do. I wouldn't be that aggressive on it. If I was going to do AMD, we already talked about it. We don't even talk about it anymore, but we already split that hair. I put on 3 put spreads this week. MU. Gerry likes MU. Just kidding. 12 in expiry. Senior premium SPY. You did Gilead, huh? Let's see. Yeah. All right. Would you make any money on MU with a put spread, Gerry?
There's a little bit there. Oh, he made $64.
I mean, you got to be probably super aggressive then. Jesus.
Where is he at? 81. Yeah, you got to be at the 20-25 delta there.
That's more aggressive than what I would want.
Yeah, I look at all these companies every week, and there's just not enough there. Like MU, I'd want to be down at $65, and
I'd probably be okay at the 70. 65 would be ideal. There's probably nothing down there.
Right, 70 at the minimum, but 65 would be like, okay, I'd be comfortable.
Yeah, 70 is where I don't even know if you can make money at 70, to be honest with you. I'm curious why you're doing a put spread on it. It almost seemed like you'd actually, be safer on on a call spread. Just because I don't think that thing is going back to 95. Of course, you probably don't think you're making money up there either. I don't think it's going back to 95. It's got a gap, a big old gap left there at the 77 area. Anyways, it's at good support where it's at right now, though. You almost better off doing a strangle, sitting where it's at. I mean, it's right in the middle. Like it's sitting right on like major support, resistance support area. It's like teeter tottering. Selling, of course. I hope you're selling. I don't really, Dumper talked about it in his video on Saturday. I didn't watch his video today because I don't really watch stock. I don't really watch stock recommendation videos, but the video he put out yesterday, he talked about day trading options in that video because I've done day trading options. It's a losing game. It's not really, I've talked about it so many times over and over and over. You lose, trade after trade after trade until you finally get a grand slam and it wipes all those other losses out and you broke even. And it's just a play with your emotions. And he talks about it in that video. And, really kind of, I'm like, how many times have we talked about that, Gerry? Don't touch a hot stove. Don't touch that hot stove. And they got to touch it, Not him particularly, but people, when you say it over and over and over, they got to do it. And then once you finally do it, and then you realize, oh, shit, this stove is hot, and he realized it. He's like, it's plays with your emotions, and it's like he made money. Don't get me wrong, he made money, but he's like, it was too much stress for that $100 or something he made.
That sphincter tightens
yes,
up.
It's a sphincter contractor, not a spreader, but a contractor. So yeah, go watch that video. He talks about it in that video, and here the Thumper, he's a pretty disciplined guy usually. Very well thought out, methodical thinker and all that, analytical, logical. And I'm thinking, I almost said in the comments, I'm like, what do you get away? Why are you getting away from what worked for you for months? You know what I mean? Is it because volatility dried up? Volatility's returned, So I don't know. Yeah, guys, I left the city, hiking trails and exploring beaches remotely for a while. I have podcast invite at 12 Eastern. My background should be pretty. It's not a podcast because podcasts don't have video. So
he was going.
When are you doing it? I would actually probably try to join. Not join, but actually, I'd actually like to watch it.
I thought he was going to Florida or something.
He's coming back to the States. Maybe he's just working his way here and just like, I don't know what's going on. Dude's got the easiest life in the world. Oh, man. Going on, Dan. Hanging out in his 10th master bedroom. Dan, did you get hit with any tornadoes where you're at, buddy? I don't know if he's still here or not, but what's that?
I forgot he's in that area, sort of.
Yeah, he's kind of. I don't really know. I know where he's at. Like, I don't really know that area really getting hit with tornadoes. Like, I don't ever. It's not really known for tornadoes, but he's right there. You know what I mean? It's right in that alley area. I've been doing iron condors and XOPs 5 wide. When it's at 100 price, 85 in short strikes. 150 credit. That's not a bad credit. It's just I'm not a fan of XOP. It's already pissed me off as it was. So let's take a look at XOP. It's been a while since I've looked at it. Where's the at, Gerry? Iron Condor. 100 price, 85 and 115. Oh, the 115 you're probably good. 85. That's a pretty safe bet, I'd say. That's pretty extreme. That's kind of a Dave trade. I wouldn't probably do an Iron Condor. I'd probably actually just naked both sides, but strangle it.
Yeah, that's not bad. I like the 80. I like the 80 though. A little bit better.
Well, I actually like the 7250.
Yeah.
But that thing's going down. I mean, you're not going to make a dime down there, probably.
No, XOP, no.
I'd say it's a pretty safe bet, though. That should work for you, Billy. I mean, I'm okay with that. Like that's something that I could get around. I could wrap my hand around, even throw an iron condor on. I probably wouldn't do it, but I could. I mean, I'd be okay with it though. I'd probably naked it though,
Now
just because I can make
here's the
more money.
thing with iron condors that kind of bugs me, right? Because I've been looking at them because typically, um, I would think you'd want to leg into an iron condor and not put it on at once.
Uh, well, I mean, same thing can be said about a strangle too. Then, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Um, honestly, I did the same thing with Boeing. I put the put side on, and I'm like, there's no way Boeing's getting back up to its all-time high in this amount of time. And so I put the other side on. Had I put the other side on earlier, I would have been in profit a lot sooner, though. So I don't know. What you're basically trying to do is you're trying to day trade kind of. You're like, okay, it's a down day. I'm going to put the put on. Okay, the stock came
Exactly.
back up. I'm going to put the call on. And guess what? It just doesn't work like that,
Yeah.
unfortunately. I guess one thing you could do is, put your puts on and then, the stock comes up or whatever. It's like you can say, oh shit, the stock came up. Let me look at putting some calls on, right? Instead of kind of like going into it saying, well, I don't know. I'm not a huge strangle person. I try to put some on occasionally, but I try to put them on like uber safely. I don't want to go inverted and all that shit. So I don't know how to do it. So yet. EOG had a hell of a run up for me. Still pays a 3.35% dividend. I bought it at 51. I remember almost getting assigned a COP put contract at $30 and thinking it would suck. That would suck. Yeah. Let me see here. COP. Yeah, I don't know. You hold something long enough, it's going to bound to come up if it's solid, if it's a quality company. We're an hour in. Let me look at the poll here, Gerry, before we forget about it. So we got 72. Is that 72? Let me see. 72 votes. Do you think the S&P 500 makes a new high before the end of the year? 78% people said yes. 22%, James Rowe, said no. So somebody just said put another vote out there for a no. 77% up, 23% said no. And honestly, folks, the S&P 500 is like 2% away or something like that. Not 2% away. It's $2 or $3 away from like an all-time high. It's a high probability that we make a new high. Matter of fact, if we look at the futures right now, are we sitting at the all-time high? You know what I mean? So that was kind of I don't know. Maybe I'll have to get Gerry's ear next on the next poll just to see if he has an idea for a poll question. I'm sure he can come up with a good one. But yeah, so there you go. 78%. The no people have been voted off the island, Gerry. They have spoken, and 78%, 73%, 78%, excuse me, said, yeah, we're making all-time highs. And I agree. I mean, we've had this conversation, James and I, and there's no reason for the market to go down right now. Like, there's no catalyst. And now, granted, it doesn't always need a catalyst. It doesn't need a rhyme or reason. It's just, if they're printing money and inflation's through the roof, and there's no place to hide in bonds, and interest rates are low, why wouldn't you still be long the market? Right? So, thanks a lot for everybody for participating in that. So anybody sneak in? Oh, there's been more votes. It's still the same percentage though. I'll look at it before we quit. I sold some COP after about 170% gain, but still around 100 grand worth. Jesus. I do, Gerry. This is like an all-time record for Dave. I'm up 178% in Apple stock. Now it's not a lot of money, so it doesn't really matter, but 178% I'm up in that stock.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it.
Because honestly, you know, it's 12 grand invested. That's why. Home Depot's I'm up 127%. Caterpillar I'm up 95%. Interesting enough, I got some other stocks. AT&T, for example, I'm down 22%. Kimberly Clark, which just all of a sudden stopped, everybody bought a bum gun and they don't need a freaking toilet paper anymore, so it's been flat the whole entire year. Not only flat, it's been even trading down.
Yeah. That's a good value stock right there.
It is a good value stock. It wouldn't probably, let me look at that one. It's been a while since I've looked at it. KMB. It's basically traded sideways all year. And I don't think you can make any money on a strangle on that thing, so it's probably not worth it. But unless you went like a couple bucks out of the money on each side. I wheel my retirement accounts only. I am wheeling on, okay, won't do it in my margin accounts. Richard, you and I have had a lot of discussion about stuff in various, either in chat or in comments or in Discord and stuff. Why are you just doing indexes in there? I'm just curious. In those accounts, why wouldn't you just do indexes? Just get all the individual stocks out. It's a lot of work doing those individual stocks, and there's just very little money to be made in those individual stocks when it comes to options.
Probably collecting good dividends off of those, though.
Good dividends, probably what, 3.5%?
If he's able to hold on, just depends on what the stock's doing.
I don't know. It's too much work and it's a little bit of money when you can just do better. You just I don't know. I've made videos on it, I would just, you're better off just doing SPY, I think. You're getting a 1.5% dividend, something like that, 1 point something percent of dividend out of that. And then you just freaking, do a 0.2 delta. And I'm sure I can make more money than he's making doing what he's doing. But anyways, you want to have an options off, Richard? I need another person to compete with because Matt money's not enough. Put COP profits into SCHG, and bought the kid a new car.
A brand new car?
You bought your 27-year-old daughter a freaking a car? Jeez, can I be your son? What are you doing? You talking about your girlfriend? Oh man. Wheel the SPY. I think that would be a pretty good bet in the retirement accounts. I wouldn't probably wheel the SPY. I wouldn't want to wheel the SPY probably in my, because like I said, I don't know. If the market goes down 50%, then you're screwed. So I'm okay doing that in the retirement account though. I can't touch that money for another 12 years, and the money I'm going to be generating off it's enough money I can do a Roth ladder on. I can just take that money out, or I can do a SEP, Rule 72T, right? Yeah. You can do a limit order with conditional, but it's totally different of an index that's crashing. You can set it hands off to buy the leveraged universe. Yeah. I prefer to not really do any of that stuff. I prefer to put my orders on and execute them right then and there. I learned that from doing from day trading. You put limit orders and stop orders and all that crap, and those market makers can see a mile away. And I've seen it many a times just on the futures, trading the futures. They take it just enough to take you out, and then they reverse it and go the other way. It's the same thing happens. I'm sure it happens on options too. So why do it? Unless you can't be near the market and watch it or something, you need to put an order on and do it. Gerry, you've done stuff like that, right?
Conditional?
No, you've done like you've put orders out there and let them sit out there all day trying to get like some Gerry price.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a lot of times, maybe 2 out of the 10 trades will fill, but I'm good with that.
Gerry he's trying to be the market maker. Oil prices will skyrocket with the current administration's policies. Yeah, it's true.
And along with that, everything else will skyrocket.
That's very true as well. Wait, Don Lemon celebrated because gas came down 5 cents. Oh!
That's what they don't understand. Is like, watch oil. If it goes down,
Oil's gone up. Excuse me, gas gone up $1 in a year, and he's celebrating it because it came down 5 cents. I bought Tesla around $9.73. Is that a good price? I don't know. It could be. That's a good price 20 years down the road. I don't know if it is right now, but last year I bought ZAM. What is ZAM? ZAM at.
What is that? Must penny stocks?
Oh, sorry, ZOM. Not ZAM. ZOM. What is ZOM?
Oh, biotech.
Specialty and generic. Oh, man. Is that a micro cap?
Yeah.
36 cents, Gerry. You can't even colonize that. It's too cheap. It's a penny stock. It's not a pink sheet, though. Why not?
Ooh. ENZC. Yeah, that one's over the counter.
Why is ZOM not a OTC at this point? It's been below $2 for most of the year. Yeah, so what is he doing? Last year I bought ZAM 7, went to then this year I'm buying. Hey, Simple Rick, it's not my cup of tea. It's not Gerry's cup of tea. I'll speak for Gerry. I guess as long as you don't like go all in on it, you throw in what you can afford to lose and something like that, then why not? You know what I mean? It looks like you already left. Let's see. What I'm betting on, Ethos. Yeah. Oil prices will skyrocket. Yeah, that's true. We already talked about that. Dan's like he's kind of like a current and vet politic enthusiast. So I always trust what he says.
He examines all the macro. Is that the macro or the micro?
Economics?
Economy of the whole political thing. We'll see if Ireland does this, Greece will have to do this, and it's like, geez.
I was checking out a Nomad site this weekend. I joined it, and I was checking out Croatia.
That pay one?
Yeah, the pay one. It's a 50% discount during December, so lifetime membership. And Croatia, I'm like, I want to go see Croatia, and Greece and all that. Those places aren't that cheap. I was pretty surprised. I don't understand why Croatia is not cheap. Neither is Greece.
Yeah,
it's cheaper than it is here. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah, I was checking out that site too, and I was like, "Hey, man, this is cool." And then I did a few other things, and it was like, "Hey, you have to pay."
Like, yeah, 3 times or something like that. Yeah, it is cheap though. I think it's $100 lifetime. Let's see here. What am I skipping back up here? Make some cash off these clowns. What are you calling clowns? He's probably talking. Who's he talking about? The politicians?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. What I don't understand is Gerry in here. Is it Gerry? Yeah, Gary's not in here. What I don't understand. What I don't understand is is, let's see here, is on The View. They talked about one of those stupid ladies on The View. She's like, if the Republicans take over, we are done. And I'm like, what does she mean by that? Like, I really would love to ask the question, like wholeheartedly ask the question, what do you mean by done? Because the way I see it, the Republicans, what she said is let me not paraphrase, kind of quote what she says. If the Republicans take over, this country is done, is what she said. And I'm thinking, how? Like, the Republicans are trying to preserve the history of the country, right? They're not trying to destroy the country's history at all, but the left is. So I don't understand what she means by that. Does she actually think that what the left is doing is, good for the country in a way, like the history of the country? I don't know.
It's extremely difficult for me to believe that someone actually believes that we're in a better spot now than we were previously.
A year ago, you mean?
Yeah. Like, tell me where that is. I don't understand.
Well, it's just blame goes back and forth.
But I mean,
well, you know what they do is they just say, "Oh, wages went up," but they completely ignore the fact that inflation went up more than wages, right? So that's how they spin it, I mean, the right does the same thing. They spin stuff too, but I also find a lot more integrity on the right too with what they say. At least the news channels that I watch, there's a lot more integrity on that side. The biggest debate is always going to be abortion. That's where, when it comes to abortion, honestly, both sides are hypocrite. They're both hypocrites, right? Because the left is my body, my choice, but when it comes to the vaccination, is not, right? So it's the same thing when it comes to the right with abortion too, right? My body, my choice when it comes to vaccination, but not with abortion, right?
Yeah, it's weird though, because my body, my choice on the abortion side, that's not your body though. That's someone else's body that you're aborting. So I don't understand. That's kind of weird.
We talked about it last week. We'll kind of not beat the dead horse to a pulp here, but it should go back to the states. I don't know if that means, Roe versus Wade gets overturned, but it should go back to the states. Get it out of the federal hands. But it is what it is. What's going on what's going on, Smoke?
Citigroup.
What's C mean, Gerry?
Citigroup.
Oh yeah, so Citigroup. How do you know he's not just saying CW, part of Gerry? What's going on?
That's a good value stock right there too.
That's a cheap stock right now.
So financials have always been cheap, really. Not always, but
not like car manufacturer cheap,
right?
Let's take a look. So JP Morgan,
not like Tesla cheap.
Yes, I mean JP Morgan's still cheap, but it's not C cheap.
Yeah, C is a good value stock. I think I had a put on them. No, I didn't. But I probably would. Well, dang, where do you put a put on this one though?
Ew. That
50 maybe.
What's that?
50 maybe.
I'd say 45. There's a big gap right there. I don't think there's any money to be made down there.
No.
I bet you probably can't even make a bunch of money at 50.
Probably not.
You got to go all at 55 probably to make any money.
There's not much in financials on premium.
No. But I mean, it could be a way to get to own the stock if you want to really own it. I actually like Citigroup. They did cancel my credit card when I was overseas, which pisses me off because it was my longest credit card I've ever had. And my credit score would probably be a perfect 850 if I still had that card. Bastards. And, I mean, honestly, folks, I can say, I got an 835 credit score, right? It don't fucking matter. I'll never probably ever use credit or need credit. And I will never have a low credit score. I guess I could buy a house and use credit, I suppose. But honestly, credit's just not something that really matters once you get older, really. Especially for high net worth people, like $10 million and shit. Credit's useless. Once you have like a certain amount of rental properties, you can't even get another loan anyway. You can have like a $10 million net worth and they won't give you a loan. Richard, I put a naked call on. I always, something's Bowie. Boo. Let's see here, 225 expires next Friday. I already have a naked put. Yeah, so I already took mine off, Richard. Let's see, what did I take? What did I have on? Where's my Boeing? So I have a Boeing put at 185. My call was a 280. Geez, going to 225?
It's above the average, but man, that's kind of tight.
And my 280, I felt kind of like, I mean, it was, I don't think it was going to get to 280, but I wanted to, find where the 52-week high was and put it above there, I just don't have the third ball that's big enough to put that on. Because I haven't had enough shots, Jerry. I haven't had any shots.
Richard might own the shares too, though.
Yeah, he probably does. 100 shares? I don't know. Probably not. Probably. I mean, it's 25 grand. I mean, he could, but depends on where he got it. I mean, Boeing honestly was one of the investments of a lifetime last year. So was CCL. I don't know what that CCL is all fucked up now, but that's literally it. I can't understand why CCL is like almost back to where it was. Like it's not that far off. Maybe it's just because it's trying to close that gap down to the 14 area.
Oh, I closed my. I had my 15 and 1250 puts. I closed those out.
If it got down to that 15 area, like if they come out with some sort of like, Ram bot or something like that, freaking variant or whatever, because there's a new one coming out soon, I'm sure. And that takes down to that 14, I'm going to load up the Leap, Jerry.
You're going to buy multiple Leap?
Multiple Leap. 4 or 5. Just wondering your feelings on this.
Wait. Richard, he put on the strangle at different times. That was a good, that's what he was trying to get across there.
Okay.
So he sells the put when it's opportunistic, and then he sells the call when it's opportunistic. So
I did on Boeing too, which is kind of funny, but I regretted. I'm not a big regretter usually, but I'm like I should have just put it on at the same time, and I didn't.
Yeah,
that's bit me in the butt. So, just wondering your feelings on the tea this week. When is it time to buy? Man, I don't know if it's ever time to buy tea. Jesus, that thing is, I just don't understand it. Let's look at Verizon tea.
I'm going to be buying some at 23, I think.
Well, it's T and Verizon. They're literally, I'd say T's worse off, but they're very similar in their sell-off. But man,
no, everything. Comcast too.
Oh, Comcast is a hunk of shit, Jerry. You can't compare that. They're not the same company at all.
But they're all getting hammered.
Yeah, they are. You're right. We've talked about this a couple of streams ago, pretty like ad nauseum. But let me look here. Honestly, I mean, any day now, you could say that you should be buying tea. It's just honestly. Oh, I mean that candle that's a monthly candle. That monthly candle's ugly. That monthly candle doesn't say shit. And this month's not over yet, so that technically could recover. If it recovers by the end of December, that could be the bottom. It would have to recover back above 24 by the end of December to put the candle in for the monthly to say that's the bottom.
I mean, it hasn't been this cheap since what?
Oh man, it hasn't been this cheap in over 10 years. I don't. Matter of fact, FinViz doesn't even go back far enough, Jerry.
Yeah, I'm looking at a Fidelity chart, and it's looks like 2008. It hit 20. No, wait. Jeez. Yeah, you're going back 2005, 8, somewhere in there. Crazy.
If it didn't take to its lows in 2008, man, we're doomed. It is the worst performing stock in my portfolio at this point. But it's honestly, it's such a small position in there. I should really think about buying. I should actually think about buying some shares, but I just don't know what's going to happen with the dividend, though. You know.
Hell, in 1995, it was a $21, $22 stock.
Yeah, but how reliable is going back that far? I mean, if there were splits and stuff, you know. But this is comical at this point. I don't understand why, though. You know what I mean? It's not like we've talked about this. There's no real explanation for it. You know, I mean, it's not like people got rid of their phones and shit, you know? They need service. When is it time to buy? I think it's been time to buy. But the thing is, it could go lower, though. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I'd say,
don't shoot your whole wad at it.
Wad. Just shoot, yeah. You don't shoot your whole wad. I look at that monthly candle for December to see where that monthly candle plays out. If it plays out with a green candle in the month of December, that's your buy point, in my opinion. I might actually even buy a little bit of shares. Dave and Gerry, what is a go-to stock pick, not ETF, that you always like to sell or put on? That's a good question. Gerry, what's your Smith & Wesson?
Well,
Camping
no, there's nothing that I always sell a put on because they'll always cycle out, right?
Are you sure?
Well, yeah, because I mean, they'll at least take a month off.
Your Vizio?
The Vizios, they'll take a month off on earnings. Smith & Wesson, I took a month off of Smith & Wesson, but I just recently got back into it because earnings came and it fell. So I didn't play it that month. So they always kind of cycle in and out. But Smith & Wesson is one that I've always done. Camping World, Winnebago.
SoFi.
SoFi. I'll probably be owning some SoFi next month. But what else? But see, I didn't play SoFi for a long time because it was up there in the 20s. So I didn't touch it. What else? I don't know. What about you?
I would have to say for me, that's a tough question because there's no such thing I put on always on an individual stock. But I would say I go back to Tesla a lot. But it's not an always. That's too hard to answer. You should say including ETFs.
Yeah, I'm looking at my list here, and actually, it's interesting. SoFi is actually the one that I've had the most transactions on.
Yeah, I didn't want to, because honestly, I was doing a lot of different strategies earlier in the year, but I could go back a few months and see. But let me see here. I'll let that run. Let's go back like 3 months or something like that. July. Let's just do August. Screw it. We'll let that run and see. I bet you it's going to be Tesla is my guess. Of course, this is going to go by, I don't have the counts in here. It's actually going to go by the top P&L. Let me see. Do I have counts? I used to have counts in there. Darn it. Anyways, yeah, I bet you it's going to be Tesla.
I got 15 transactions out of SoFi, so, and that's starting from just June.
Let's see here. Options activity, options data. Yeah, I'd have to actually count, and I can't. I bet you it's Tesla is my guess for me, but it's not always on though. So It's not like I go back to it a lot because the premium is good and you can get like way down there and not have to worry about it. So yeah, I'd go with Tesla for me. I prefer to wheel value stocks at good prices. Don't like to wheel growth stocks or SPY at these prices. The five stocks I mentioned are at good prices. I disagree here though, because what he's assuming is he's going to get assigned. He's not going to wheel SPY, but why wouldn't you? If you can get 15% down on it, why wouldn't you wheel it? It sounds like he's more interested in like doing a buy right type of situation or something. I don't know. What do you make of that, Gerry?
I don't know. I kind of like Richard's thought processes here. I like the value stocks that he's in, so that's kind of.
Yeah, but so he's saying that the SPY is overvalued basically at these prices. But if you're putting a put on 15% down,
But then you're not wheeling.
that's what I'm saying. So what is he doing? Like a buy right? Like doing like at the money?
Probably, or probably close to it. Give him 5% either direction or something.
Yeah, I would probably agree then too. What he's doing then, he's looking for undervalued stocks and he's putting puts on. If he gets a sign, then he's just going to turn it into a wheel. I get it. Yeah. Basically, it's kind of doing what you're doing. The Vizio is not in favor. The Smith West not in favor. He's looking for a stock that's in favor, and he puts the shit on then. Careful with that Nomad list, guys. I found some different prices than what they list. Well, the problem is their DD, good old double D, mammograms. Is it mammograms? No, I don't know what they are. I don't know how to say the word. Apparently, mammary. So the thing is, they lift out like 3 or 4 different prices on there. They list out the Nomad price. They list out the local price, like if you were actually living there, because you're obviously if you're living there, you're always going to get a cheaper price because you know the places to do, and you can zoom. I don't want to say zoom down. I used to say that back in the day, and apparently that's not politically correct. I never knew it was politically incorrect to say that until somebody pointed out one time to me, and now but it's a kind of a habit. Sorry if anybody got offended by that, but I don't really normally apologize for things I say, but that is kind of a bad thing to say, I suppose. Gerry, and they have a Nomad price, they have a remote working price, they have a family price, they have a local price, and all that, right? So what prices are you looking at, Dividend Drip?
Well, I mean that's the thing. Everything's going to vary, right? They're just taking averages. So of course you're going to find some different prices, right?
Yeah, and they list the Airbnb price. They list the night on average. It's an average, and there's always going to be some stream, penthouse suite that's $10,000 a month or something that throws the average off. But yeah, I think it's just a gauge, right? If you pop up a place and it says it's $600 to live, and there's another place where it's $1,500, most likely that place where it's $1,500 is going to be more expensive in general to visit and travel there, right? So I kind of use it as that. But what's that, Gerry? I got dibs. Gerry, is that a password?
I don't know what that is.
It's a password. I don't know.
No idea.
No idea. Hey, Dividend, how do you feel about the backpackers? Hate them. Sorry. I'm kind of with Dividend Drip. You go check out all the places, but then you just kind of stay out of the touristy areas. It gets old. Me too. Nothing personal. Right. I want to be on the beach that he was on where there's nobody there. I found a place like that in Costa Rica. It was badass. Most are broke. Pretend to be English teachers for spare money is kind of sad. God.
What is this? Just backpackers.
It's probably talking about like people that just kind of travel through, drifters type of people.
Oh, okay.
Because
Gotcha.
I ran across a lot of those in Australia that were staying at the hostels and stuff. They'd kind of like travel through with big packs, and they'd work at the hostel cooking and stuff like that or whatever, and then they go see sights or whatever, come back home, go to bed, wake up, work, see more sights, and then they kind of
So
slow travel like that.
they're like gypsies.
Basically, yeah. But did you know that you have to be like in Australia, for example, in order to do that, you have to be like below a certain age? I didn't know there was
They got,
like an age limit to doing that
they
in
got
some
some
countries.
weird ass rules in Australia.
Yeah, they do. Take your guns away too. Um, some even beg off poorer people. Beg off? Is that like telling them "fuck you, get the hell out of here"? Is that the same thing? Wait,
No,
beg
they're
off.
begging. They're begging poor people for food and crap.
Begging poor people? Come on. That is kind of sad. They're loud, disrespectful to the locals, and on all around embarrassment for the most part. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not from America, folks. I can tell you this: when I was traveling through Australia, or whatever, I was kind of. I wouldn't say I was embarrassed, but I was kind of ashamed to say I wasn't from the United States. A lot of the people, not. I'm not talking about the locals, but all the people, because there's a lot of tourists there. Well, where are you from? It's like it's just a lot of people look at America as being like they hate us. You know what I mean? It's weird. Gerry could pass as like a Pacific Islander or something anyway.
I could probably.
Yeah, Gerry could. If Gerry went back to his like 18-year-old days, he could pass as like a cartel member.
Probably.
Pretty darn scary, Gerry. El Chapo. Most give foreigners a bad name in these poorer countries. Yeah, I don't want to run into that. Here's a new one. LOL, what? There is only one rational party, and unfortunately, it's the Democratic Party. Might I suggest catching up on the bulwark? What's that, Gerry?
The bulwark? I have no idea, but to even suggest that they're a rational party is freaking insane.
Maybe he's talking about the classical liberals.
If there's
He or
not
she.
many that exist, I'll tell you that right now.
Well, I mean, some can say Manchin is. I can probably get behind some of what Manchin says.
Yeah, but the major the way they're moving now is not classic liberal.
No, I could literally probably agree with most of what Dave Rubin says. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
the funny thing about Dave Rubin is Dave Rubin. Of course, I haven't watched and listened to him in a long time. I think he's a pundit now, kind of. But the thing is he comes on Fox News to talk, but yet he's supposed to be a classical Democrat. You know what I mean? He doesn't even go on CNN. It's so weird, but yeah. Anyways, watch all your vids, Dave. You said you used to work on cars. I'm rocking the Steelies, but there's rust on the bolts. Any products you know to remove it? No, I don't. Rust on the bolts. You just probably need to throw some. The hell's the name of that shit, Gerry? Yeah, smoke. Did you put a comment? I don't know. I don't think you've ever commented. If you did, I've never seen smoke in my comments. But there's a name. I can't remember the name of this stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
not
Um,
WD-40.
it's not WD-40, Gerry. Jeez,
Come
it's
on,
better than
WD-40
it's
is good
W.
for everything.
It's better than WD-40. You spray this crap on there, leave it on there for a while, but eventually you're gonna have to use like depending on how bad it is, you have to sand it down with something, some light sandpaper, use a buffing wheel to buff it out. If it's pitted, you're going to have to get it all the way down past that point, So, Steelies, huh? I'm rocking the Steelies. Yeah, I just work on cars a lot. I want to get back into it. I miss that. I need that property, Gerry. Minnesota got a lot of snow this past week. So it happens when you're that far north. We had just a dusting of snow. It's all gone. It was 60-something degrees today here. I own Verizon. I used to. I don't own it anymore. Verizon. I mean, it's no better off than T. I couldn't even tell you which company's better at this point either.
Yeah.
It's actually, Verizon's held up better than T has, though, over the last 10 years. I think that, take that back. I used to think that Verizon was more diversified, but I don't think that's the case. Let's see. Hey, UNP and PFE raised their dividend. I sold PFE, so I haven't noticed it. Was that Union Pacific? Let's see, UNP. Wow. Union Pacific has just had an amazing chart over the last 10 years, Gerry.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you do here now.
Doesn't pay very much, but it is what it is, Damn, that's a behemoth. What's another one? Southern Pacific's gone. They got bought out by UNP or merged.
There's
What's the other one?
Kansas, CSX, and NSC.
Kansas, Norfolk, or whatever.
Yeah, NSC.
Yeah, okay, so that's another one. No, they're all kind of the same. CNX. CSX. Honestly, every one of the charts look very similar.
Yeah.
They're all pretty much priced the same, too. Yeah, right around a 20 PE. Yeah. I don't see rails going away anytime soon. Rail's always going to be around until the day we die. Unless there's some hover rail or something.
Yeah. I don't know what replaces that.
Hover rail.
Yeah.
Or a rail system that's in a vacuum. It goes faster. It doesn't use diesel. But I don't know how you're going to pull. How you going to pull all of that weight with an electric? Well, I shouldn't say electric because trains are electric. But those things are. The thing is you could actually have an electric locomotive, right? I'm not talking about a diesel electric because that's what they are, right? And the thing is those diesel electric engines in those things, they're like 16 cylinder and they produce like 4,000 horsepower and shit. You know what I mean? And they turn this big old freaking generator. So you're not going to be able to have batteries, that powers those damn things. You're never going to be able to have batteries that power them. Not unless you, fill up like 10 freaking cars full of batteries or something back there. Every freaking train car should have freaking solar panels on top of it. Oh, man. If you bought T at 28 and for the dividend, you just wiped out 5 years of dividends. You got average down, Billy. You could almost say that I bought it for the dividend, but I actually had I needed telecommunications too, but that's okay because I don't have a lot of T left. And I'm waiting for them to figure out what they do with the dividend. I never done a little research on it. If they cut the dividend, the stock drops, I'm actually all double down or triple down on it because I only have, $3,000. Do I even have $3,000 in that, Gerry? Let me take a look. Excuse me, $2,000 in. That's all I have in it. These individual companies are a pain in the ass. T and JJ were a couple of my favorites. Not happy, but yeah, I'm right there with you. Not happy with what if they spun off like talcum powder or something like that. I mean, all right, fine, get rid of talcum powder, you know. But no, they spin off the good shit, you know. Yeah, he's seeing the light, Gerry.
Yeah.
What I would recommend for you, dividend drip, assuming these are in not retirement accounts, which I don't even know your situation. I'm not recommending it. I would say if I was you, and these were not in a retirement account, I would take small losses every single year. I'd take one or two positions out every year and spread them out over 3 or 4 years. That way, it'll get pounded with taxes. If it works out for you, you need to do that. Got my list down to 6 individual companies for dividend income. There you go. Yeah, we've talked about those. ASO went off like a rocket last. What is that one, Gerry?
ASO is Academy Sports Outdoors, I believe.
Oh yeah, it's a very new company.
No, it's not new, Dave.
Yeah, it is.
Founded in 1938.
Okay, maybe it may not be new, but it was private.
Yeah, exactly.
It's new on the stock market. How about
There
that?
you go. That's better.
Oh,
It had a little spike up after earnings, looks like.
it looks like a solid company and stuff. I don't really have much to say about it. It leaves a lot of gaps, which I don't like. But
Yeah, I don't like it either. That I need to be down at the 35, but there's not going to get there now. You're not going to get nothing there now.
seems to be undervalued. Seems to be a solid company. Green all around. You know, it's a little bit smaller cap than I like personally to even own, but doesn't pay a dividend. It's up a lot. What is he talking about? Let's see here. One of Gerry's. Gerry, what do you mean? Is it your favorite? You didn't even know what it was.
No, I've done ASO. I've done a lot of those outdoor like Camping World. It fits in with like Camping World and Smith and Wesson and all that. So I've done them previously.
What do we see here? Same for IBM. It used to be a dividend. It's still a dividend juggernaut. It's just the stock itself is not a juggernaut. Does that make sense? Nobody gets excited about IBM unless you're a Gen X and older. I'm okay with IBM. I work in tech. They are a little medieval in a way just because, but you got to understand that company has a lot of patents. They patent the disk drive, memory, ATM. I mean, it's everything that we use every day is like patented by IBM. It's just nobody really knows what they do, and they don't really, especially like millennials and stuff. They don't know anything about IBM, you know. But they actually still have a place. I mean, mainframes is a good example. Mainframes aren't going away, even though they're just old school. But there's still a lot of other. They have cloud. They have Red Hat. You know, Red Hat. I love Red Hat. That's my favorite distribution as far as enterprise Linux goes. But it's just nobody gets excited about them.
5.3% dividend.
Yeah.
Not bad.
So VIX being at where it is, we all head to a rally. Let's take a look at the VIX. I haven't looked at it in a while. Let's pop up that pricks, Gerry. What can I use for the VIX? For FinViz. Piece of shit FinViz. Doesn't like VIX. God dang it. VXX? Damn. Oh, here it is. VIX futures. So the VIX futures, it could go down lower. Just kind of look where it's going too. I bet you the VIX goes back to 16. And that means we make a new high. So let's look at the poll, Gerry. 88 votes, Gerry. 77%. Yes, we make a new high. There you go. VIX is going to drop.
Nice.
GW dump Newsy. Thoughts, Dave? I I already knew he was going to dump it because I kind of talked him into it. Actually, did I talk you into it?
I don't think so.
Talk you into it. You asked me, should I dump my shares? I'm like, yeah. Why would you be in there for the $30 or whatever?
Yeah, well, I was discussing it with you, and I did give you my thought process. Like, well, what's $30 a month doing for me in
Yeah,
Newsy?
throw it in your IB account.
And
Yeah,
secondly is you own Newsy for crash protection, right? Well, if you only have 0.5% of your net worth in Newsy, what's it really protecting?
nothing.
Nothing,
Yeah,
right? So
to a couple $1,000s. You mean?
yeah.
I'm actually going to make a video that's similar to Jerry's, not quite the same, but my thoughts on what I'm going to be doing with Newsy. So I've talked about it probably before. Jerry already probably knows. If Jerry was smart, he would have told me about it, and I would put mine out video out the same day he did. We could have played off each other, but no, it's fine. Congratulations, Jerry. What do you got, like 2K views in that thing already?
Yeah, 2K. Go watch it if you haven't watched it. Because
Yeah, go watch
it's
it.
a viral video for me.
Yeah, it is viral. Put it on 10x. I heard Liquid Wrench. Nah, that's just a poor man's WD-40. That's all that is. But it would probably work. But there's something better than that too, though.
PB Blaster.
Yes, PB Blaster, I believe is it. Yes, there's a channel I watch that guy loves that shit. So buys by the case.
Might be the same.
It might be some old fart repairs like lawnmowers and shit.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. T-Bus dropped. Yes, we looked at that one. They're all dropped. If Sprint was out, it would have dropped too. When's the next COVID come out? Well, it's already out.
They're working on it.
Yeah, they're just trying to nail down what the name of it should be.
They're waiting for this one to kind of fizzle out.
Piddle paddle out.
Yeah.
They're trying to play this one out as long as they can, get some more people boosterized and all that, and then, yeah. Hey Jerry, I'm going to sell a Camping World and Smith & Wesson tomorrow just for you. I already have a Tesla put. Maybe I'll sell another later this week.
Yeah, there's some pressure on Camping World this week, and I don't know why. I didn't see any news on it, but Camping World depends. I mean, you either love or hate Marcus Lemonis, right?
Oh, how could you not love Marcus Lemonis?
I mean, there's a lot of people that hate him too, but
the people they didn't make deals with because they didn't know how to run their damn company.
Exactly. Well, if you look at, you just check out, just put Camping World in like an alert section or some news and look at it every once in a while. It's like every other day they're acquiring something, and it's like, holy crap, man! These guys.
He is like one of the smartest businessmen I've ever seen in my entire life. If you have not seen his reality show or whatever it is, his TV show on TV, I highly recommend you watch it because the dude, like, I would almost say he's better than Kevin O'Leary. He's better than what's that other cocksucker that I've always hated that owns the Dallas Mavericks. Mark Cuban. I used to hate Mark Cuban because he used to come to Denver. He used to come to Denver and throw freaking chairs on our because I mean, but ever since I started watching the TV show with him, I'm like, all right, I respect the guy. I like the guy, but I used to hate the hell out of the guy. But Marcus Lemonis, I think he puts those guys to shame when it comes to business sense, in my opinion. Yeah, that's just my feeling.
There's still a lot of consolidation happening in the RV dealership areas, especially because of the manufacturers having these supply chain issues and whatnot. So a lot of these smaller companies that he's buying up, they can't compete because the Camping Worlds of the world are going to get the preferential treatment. So he can go in and just buy them up, and those owners are like, okay, I'll get the hell out. So it's interesting. I think Camping World's undervalued at this time. I really do.
So basically, he's kind of like pulling a Walmart in a way.
Exactly. That's exactly what he's doing.
He's going into the local areas and underpricing everybody there for a while to drive them all out of business. It's 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 smart, but I understand the other side of it too, right? Like where it's people hate Walmart because they did that, you know? And I'm
Yeah,
like, it's smart
exactly.
business sense though, you know?
I mean, what are you gonna do, right? I mean, yeah, the mom and pop is being pushed out, but I mean, I don't know. Like, do you just stop corporations from doing what they do? It just, I don't know. It's weird because I mean, he's going in and buying these places up, and these people are selling them, and it's changing their lives, right? So I don't know.
Just go work for Camp on World. You know? That's what I was
And
saying.
then,
Like, oh, you drive you out of business, go freaking work for Walmart, you know? But it's just a lot of people hated Walmart for doing that and hate that business practice. But if you were a businessman, I mean, isn't Amazon kind of doing the same thing?
aren't you supposed to grow as a business?
Exactly. I mean, it's just, like you go live in a communist country then. I mean, I don't really understand how you can answer that. I completely understand if you live in a small town and this is how you live, you got a little town store or whatever, and you get drove out by an Amazon that came in there because an Amazon, don't get me, not, excuse me, a Walmart comes into town. Don't get me wrong here. I don't have anything against Walmart. Like a lot of the crap they sell is junk. Don't get me wrong here. Okay. A lot of this shit is just China junk in there. Nothing, almost everything you buy nowadays is just disposable. You don't repair anything nowadays. Even TVs you don't repair. You throw the damn thing away and get a new one. You get a Vizio. I'm a Samsung person, but personally. But the thing is, if you don't like Walmart, don't go shopping there. Um, I just don't understand the argument where they come into town, they wipe everybody out. And it's like it is what it is. Don't shop there if you don't want to shop there.
And then Smith and Wesson. I like Smith and Wesson. I really started looking at them when this administration changed. When there's a Democratic administration in charge, the gun manufacturers will do well.
Yeah, the Democrats are the biggest gun salespeople in the world.
Absolutely.
Like, I
And they just
mean,
moved
you
to
want to sell
Tennessee.
guns, put a Democrat in office.
Yeah, and they just moved to Tennessee, so good move.
And a lot of headquarters are moving to Tennessee. You got AOC that kicked Amazon out of freaking New York. Smart woman. She's kind of cute in a way, but in her own way. A lot of people say I'm weird for saying that, but whatever. It's a dark hair, dark eyes. I got dibs. Let's see here. Gerry, how long are you keep your option that you had for a while in your last video? I haven't seen your video, so.
It depends. Anywhere from 2 to 45 days. I mean, it's just
How
gonna
long are you
really
going
depend.
to keep your option that you had for a while? I don't know how to. Well, I don't know what he's asking.
Yeah, typically I hold my positions anywhere from,
Anyway, from 1 minute
day.
to 45 days.
Yeah, somewhere in between 1 minute and 45 days.
If he needs to roll it, he'll roll it.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll end up being 90 days. So,
Yeah, or longer, possibly.
it could be for perpetual roll.
Sorry, guys, got to catch an Uber and go to this podcast. It's not. It's Grab where you're at. It's not Uber. Just kidding.
Grab. There's a new one on the block.
Yeah, well, like a lot of the countries on that website said they use Grab.
But it's on the market.
Is it?
Yeah, it's had a humongous dip.
You're right. There's warrants. Is it a SPAC?
It was a SPAC.
Is it out of SPAC status?
It's out of SPACitation. I I looked up the website. I'm surprised you said that. It's because I was researching this last week, and I'm like, man, this is like a legit thing. Not like Wish, right? Wish was like,
I would say Grab is. I don't know if Uber operates in there. He might be calling it like the very first to come out, like a chapstick is a good example, right? Because there's lip balm and stuff.
yeah,
He's just calling everything an Uber, right? When there's Lyft that's out, there's Grab that's out, but everybody knows what Uber is, right? Like A1 steak sauce. That's a good example. You have any A1? They might just have steak sauce, but it might not be A1.
right. So Grab is. I put Grab on my watch list. I'm gonna watch Grab.
I'm going to be behind you on that one, Gerry, because I'm going to actually probably end up using Grabs. So and I can get behind this. I actually think Lyft is better than Uber anyway. I just have I hate Uber. I just hate them. They screwed me over, and I said, "Fuck you! I'll never use it ever again."
But Grab is not just a rideshare type thing. It's like they
Grab does
super app.
They do delivery just like Uber Eats.
They do all kinds of stuff. Check them out. Grab. What's it called? What the hell's it called?
It's called Grab.
Yeah, it's called Grab, but their website is a little funny. It is grab.com. Duh.
Range of services including mobility, food, packaging, grocery delivery, mobile payments, financial services.
Exactly. So it's like they got a lot going on. It's not just one. It's
Some
not
people
just
could look at that as being a bad thing, though.
It could be, but
GE, for example.
Yeah, they're not a one-trick pony. So
yeah. Founded in 2012, so it's been around a while. You know what, Gerry? Let's put that one on our watch list. Yeah. Not for like, I don't know, to buy Leaps or something. I don't know.
The options are out there too.
Yeah, buy Leap. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. So I like, and that's why I was excited about Didi too. I'm like, oh, Didi could be something, right? The problem is it's China, and then you're just susceptible to all of freaking Xi Jinping, the crap he does. But I think it could be good though. It's just, why not go with a Singapore? Because isn't Samsung out of Singapore? Are they? Where's Samsung, sure. Gerry?
I thought it was Korea. No,
I think. Let me see. Samsung, not where it's made, but yeah, you're right. They're in Korea. I tell you what, if Samsung was on the American market, man, I'd be all up in that business. I'm a huge Samsung fan, more than Sony. Like, I don't know any Sony products. Not saying that Sony is a bad company, but Samsung just makes great phones, great TVs, great freaking washer and dryers, great freaking fridges.
Says they were up 30% on Friday. Oh, wait. No, this is old. What the hell, Fidelity? Jeez, this says as of October 13th. What the hell?
2013. Well, Fidelity is old, Gerry.
Yeah.
Go to this podcast. I'll try to send a link. Okay, I will try to take a look. Fiskars. Fiskars is the name of a car company, right?
The Fiskars I know are scissors.
Leave it to Gerry to freaking know, how to, whatever you call it.
Fiskars or scissors or knives. That's what I know of. I haven't heard of the other name.
Let's see here. Fiskars is a car manufacturer. It's one of the new ones that's coming out.
Nope. I don't think he's talking about it, because look, I just googled Grans Force Brux, and it's a axe company. Axe,
He might be right. I've actually used a Fiskars axe. I don't own one, but my friend has one. Do I have a friend? I might. You're right. There's also isn't there a freaking car company named Fiskars too?
It's called Fisker.
Oh, okay. Close
without
enough.
the S.
Close enough. Sven's, if I'm not mistaken, he's in Canada. Lemonis knows his numbers. Yeah, do not talk to him about your business unless you know your numbers.
Yeah.
But that dude, I'll tell you, man, I love watching. I love watching the episodes because people process product or product, a people product process or something like that.
Yeah.
He comes in there and just simplifies the shit, and it just starts making money. It's crazy, and people are dumb. And that's the reason, honestly, they pick a lot of the companies because they're in dire straits. There's a lot of like fighting going back and forth. They pick the worst companies on purpose. What are those, Gerry?
That one I
Benchmades.
don't know. That
Bench,
sounds like some sort of tool manufacturer.
Benchmade sounds familiar.
Spyderco knives.
Knives. Yeah. Darn
I'm a
Canadians
cheap
and knives.
I'm a cheap ass. I got
Why don't you get? Actually, I do have I can't remember what the name of it was, but I bought an expensive knife.
I don't. I'm a cheap ass. I got, what do they call them? Kershaw.
Oh man, I had to buy gloves after I bought this knife, like special cutting gloves, because I'm like, it was so dangerous. You can drop a piece of paper on there. I was like, oh my god, this thing is uber sharp. I can't remember the name of the company. I was very surprised. Yeah, what do you have? Like the Christmas steak knives you get from like a 20-year anniversary out of business or something for working there?
No, I'm talking about a pocket knife.
Oh, pocket knives. Let's see here. China stocks. You should ask about knives, Gerry? Carry. China stocks are up big right now. Yes, maybe freaking Baba will go up. Grab drove Uber out of Philippines.
See, that's what I was looking at. They were in some foreign countries too with that. So interesting.
Uber, honestly, Uber is really, they're really just in big cities, really. I mean, I was watching a video about the AT, and they're like, if you think you're going to use Uber to get from like the trailhead to the town or whatever, good luck. So you can call a taxi, they'll come get you, but not a fucking Uber. There's no Ubers. Is Uber worth buy? I'm not touching Uber. I hate Uber. That's not to say that you shouldn't get in it. It's just I'm not an Uber person. I hate Uber. I like Lyft. They're still losing money.
Yeah, they're extremely
I don't think that Uber. The problem is Uber just got way ahead of itself. Like it's just they're still not making any money. Plus, you got the whole Uber. Didn't that like the Uber and the contractor issue or whatever, the freaking full-time employee or something like that issue in California or whatever?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I forget what the outcome was, but that was a big deal.
2 to 5 years. I don't know, Michael. I'm a Lyft person, so I would look at Lyft, but let me look at the stock on Lyft because I haven't looked at it. I would almost say Lyft's in a better position, but it's just not a name that everybody likes. But honestly, I started using Lyft when it was relatively new because Uber pissed me off, and it took longer to get a ride and all that. But I've talked to a lot of people. I used to use one every day back and forth to work, and they're like, yeah, all the drivers prefer Lyft. But a lot of them drive for both, but a lot of them prefer Lyft. But that doesn't really matter. You're talking about from investment point of view. But from investment point of view, I still go, it's the worst ran company in the world is the way I look at it because they could not return my call and they lost a lot of business. So screw you. Pure Wonka. Butt naked and buck naked are both still used. There you go, Gerry. 2 hours after we said it. Buck is older, dating from early 1900s, and butt dates from 1960s. Wow. I've been saying buck mostly if I ever say it now. I don't know, but yeah, there you go.
I think it just depends on who I'm talking to.
That kind of makes sense though, Gerry. You know, like a deer's ass. You know what I mean? Like sitting right there in front of you. It's a buck, Gerry.
Yeah.
Buck deer. It's a buck naked, right?
As long as it has horns.
Could call it monkey. No, that doesn't work. Buck sounds good. Yeah, let's go with buck. Grab will even pick you up on a motorcycle. Yeah, in tutus or tuk-tuks or whatever.
Yeah, tuk-tuks.
Tuk-tuks. I've ridden in one tuk-tuks. It's kind of funny. They're scary.
Yeah, you probably
It's in downtown Bangkok too.
And you're probably getting like carbon monoxide poisoning and
You are. And I was and it must have been like 2 or 3 a.m. or something like that on New Year's, because it was just New Year's Eve. And just what a good time. Anyway, toot Gerry. Grab. Yeah, I gotta take a look at Grab. Keep that one on my I'll put that in my IB account, Gerry. Samsung fridges suck. Hey, I don't know anything about France. I don't know anything about their fridges, to be honest with you. I probably wouldn't buy one because you're probably paying a boatload of money for it. But I can tell you their TVs are great. Their phones are magnificent. Ice makers, yeah, I don't know. Just get some trays, man. Put some water in there. Put some vodka in there. Other than that, I agree with you. Yeah, I don't know how well I actually think that their dryers and washers are pretty good, but honestly, I don't really want all that smart washer and dryer and smart freaking fridge and stuff, because it's going to cost a fortune to fix the shit when it breaks. I want simple shit. I want roll down windows in my freaking car.
I ain't going there.
I'm just kidding that one. Actually, you do need power locks and power freaking windows. That's about all the power I need in there, though.
That's like that's the bare minimum. If it's got power windows and locks, I'm good.
I don't really care about power seats, all that crap, power mirrors. Well, power mirrors is actually a good one too, Gerry.
Yeah. Well, at least power passenger.
Yeah. Yeah. I need a power freaking rear view mirror, Gerry. I don't need a backup camera. Fiskars makes my push mower. Push mower? Who, like, does it have an engine on it? Or you are the engine?
Yeah, I think that's old school, right? Fiskars. I think it's.
He's right though. Fiskars is an axe maker.
Yeah, I don't think they. I don't think they do push motorized mowers.
No, they just strap a bunch of knives on there. Yeah, we used to have a push mower back in the day. It was fun. It was fun when you were a kid. Like, you know, like, hey, you want to go out and mow the lawn? Yeah, because it was all fun to push it. But when you get older, it's like, the hell am I doing? Now you get self-propelled mowers and shit. Matter of fact, they got robot mowers now. What's your thoughts on Ford? We haven't talked about Ford in quite a while, Gerry. A few weeks anyway. Holy cow!
Yeah.
What happened on Friday?
Exactly.
Man, I haven't seen Ford this high in ever. I've never seen Ford this high.
I've been telling you, Ford is going to be the leading EV manufacturer in America.
Wait. You opened some worms there, Gerry. And I don't know if the leg warehouse has a leg for you to stand on. For some people do think that Tesla will be the #1 producer.
Not even close, I don't think.
You should get on a live stream with Kyle.
I mean, look, Ford, right? Ford's it's in, I think their F-150 Lightning, they had to quit taking orders. The Ford Maverick, the hybrid, I know it's not EV, but it's hybrid, they had to quit taking orders. Everything's freaking sold out already. And it's like,
well, everything's sold out just car-wise in general.
In general, right. But the demand for Ford vehicles, I think, is going to be way more than the demand for a Tesla vehicle.
I agree. No F-150 person is going to want a Cybertruck.
Nope.
can you imagine driving a cyber truck to a construction site, and then you're gonna get canceled out of the construction site.
Yeah, your man card's gone.
Pretty much. I don't
But
know. Yeah.
I'm just saying it. I've been saying it, and it's just Ford right now. It's a little too hot for me to actually want to get into it. I think a Grateful Man is super heavy into it still. I don't see. I don't know.
Wait, Gerry, you can't call it hot when it's still got 11 PE, Ford PE. It's just that's super high for Ford, though, you know.
For Ford, yes.
But maybe this is where they have like a Ford PE, like a Tesla. Maybe they're heading to that.
I don't know. Well, there's a lot of the financials are still jacked up with Ford, right? I mean, there's still a crap ton of debt, pensions, and
Still? Oh, the pension's just not going to go away for the next
I mean, so
20,
it's
30
different,
years.
right? You can't really compare it to Tesla. It's not.
They're not. Yeah, they're not an apples to apples. Definitely not. But I mean,
But
Gerry made a good point several weeks back. There's Ford people that are diehard Ford people that are not going to buy a Tesla. Period. I honestly, I've mentioned it many times. Tesla makes ugly cars too. Ugly names, ugly cars. If they want to compete, they should make better looking cars and better names. I'm not saying Tesla's not a good investment because it probably is a good investment long term. I wouldn't mind having 1,000 shares of just keep it on the not 1,000 shit. Did I say 1,000? 100 shares, just keep it on the side. But
I mean, with them making the Cybertruck, that solidified the F-150 Lightning Electric, right? Because if they would have made the Cybertruck look like an actual truck, then they might have had some problems, right? But there's no way that you can look at the Cybertruck and then look at the F-150 and the F-150 guy say, make a consideration for the Cybertruck. No way. There's no way.
here's a good example of the Gerry talked about. Nikola, I don't know if they're making it, right? I mean, but you got the Badger, right? The Badger's a good looking truck, you know? But you got Elon Musk that just wanted to come out and try to make something that was futuristic looking. And it's just not practical, you know? Who would buy an $80,000 truck like that looks like that and throw freaking 2 tons of freaking rock in the back of it?
It's a novelty. That's the way I see the Cyber. It's a novelty truck. Whereas the F-150 is going to be still a work truck.
I don't know. It's not a fleet vehicle. Who's gonna get a fleet vehicle contract? Probably like a Ford.
Exactly. They've been doing it. They've done it. They got experience in it. They'll get it done.
We've beat this dead horse to a pulp. It's 2 hours and 17 minutes. Let's call quits, Gerry.
Thoughts on Ford stock price? I think it's expensive.
It's expensive compared to where Ford has historically been, but it's actually relatively cheap.
But it's relatively cheap, exactly.
Yeah.
So
would I touch it? Probably not.
I probably wouldn't touch it. But if you think anything that I'm saying is coming true as far as dominating the EV market, then it's probably a decent pickup. But there's a lot of buts there.
Yeah, I don't really honestly know why it popped. I didn't really look at it. Friday, so it's the 10th. Ford expects to triple electric Mustang output by 2023. There you go. They're killing it, Gerry. They're killing it. I'm a big Ford fan too. Both my grandparents are Ford people too. So I've owned a Corvette as well. Actually all my families had a Corvette as well, dad and brother, along with me. So, anyways, let's call it quits here. Baba's okay, awesome there. That's good. Hopefully, it'll be up 13%, 20% tomorrow. Good night, Michael. Good stream tonight, guys. Thanks. Take care. Thanks, John Arnold. Another great stream. Yeah. Hey, everybody, have a great week. Futures are up, and we'll see everybody next week. And be safe, everybody.